So the first step in any guacamole is to cut the avocado. Don't mind the cookies, they're pretty delicious though. When I make my guacamole, I like to have one bowl to put stuff in, the end product, and one bowl for the trash, basically. So you cut it in half, and if it's ripe, it should peel off just like this. If it's not quite ripe, you might have to put a little bit more work into it, but don't try to do it with totally unripe avocado. It's a pain in the ass. So now we have this. You can crush it up a little bit, it's not mattering. It doesn't have to be perfect. Take out the little nub thing, put it in there, in the bowl. Not a problem. Okay, so now I kind of clean my hands off because that feels kind of gross. Take some olive oil, some good salt. Also going to need that. Other things you're going to need: garlic, and one red pepper. Doesn't have to be red, just something to kick. I like red, it gives it a little color contrast, and that's what was available at the market. So when I slice it, just get it into real small little parts. You can de-seed it if you want, but I like spice, so I keep my seeds in. And give it another run through with a knife. I know my knife technique's not great, but it does the trick. And you scoop that up. Put it in there with the avocado. Now, make sure you wash your hands after you do this, and don't touch your face or other parts that you don't want to burn. Then, what makes my guacamole a little different, I like to use basil, and not a huge amount, but good fresh basil. Love that smell. Not that much, but you know, whatever you like to taste. And give it a little run through with a knife. Alright, there's the stem. Throw that away, you don't need it, it's a little tough. And another run through with a knife. You just want some little pieces. There's no rule for this. You know, nobody's watching. Probably. Alright. A little basil, really freshen this up. Then I'd like to take some cilantro or coriander, depending on what you want to call it. And this is getting a little old, but that's okay. It's still green. Hasn't turned yet. And good, you know, quarter cup. And again, I'm going to run the knife through it so the pieces aren't so big. So, one more time. This really gives it a good fresh flavor too. Right in there. Maybe the avocado. And actually that's enough, so I'm not going to use the rest. You can toss it. About 3 garlic cloves, I feel does the trick for this amount. It's pretty garlicky, but I like it garlicky. Crush the garlic. The skin comes off easy that way. Maybe not off your fingers, but at least off the garlic. And then here. And I personally like to chop off the little hard end of the garlic, a little stem. I just think it makes it a little better. Don't crunch on anything that you don't want to crunch on. And then again, I'm just going to run my knife through it a few times. It's not an exact science. It doesn't have to be. Just small pieces is what you're going for. You're going to blend it up anyways. Well, you're not with your fork, so you're not looking for julienne or anything like that. here's what it's looking like so far. Looking pretty good. I'm going to throw the garlic in there. Ta-da! Okay, and then I'm going to hit it with a little olive oil. Just a little bit. Probably like a tablespoon and a half. Then some salt. Now here I find that good salt works the best. Coarse kosher salt. And I put a fair amount in. I'm kind of a salt freak. So then, you take your fork. And you just mash it up. You could use a stick blender for this, but I find that's a bit of overkill, to be honest. If the avocado is ripe, then, you know, it's fine. You just want to make sure it's all worked together. You don't want to hit all the garlic at once or all the basil at once. You want all the flavors to work in harmony. And then a good chef always tests his food, see if everything's in balance. This is usually where I find out if I have enough salt. Taste it. Get a little bit of everything. That's pretty good. Got a good cook to it. Freshness with the basil. Nice garlic. I'm happy. Time to eat.